Good evening and welcome to X Stadium on the campus of Wichita State University, where we have made it to the end of baseball round the clock. The final game since we started Saturday afternoon at noon without much stoppage has the Alaska Goldpanners taking on TPA of Texas. My name is Steve Strain. Welcome into a Sunday evening of baseball. A beautiful Sunday evening it is, and we've got two teams that were at the opposite end of the spectrum yesterday during baseball round the clock when it started. TPA of Texas lost to Junction City by the score of 11-7, so they are 0-1 in pool play, while the Alaska Goldpanners knocked off GPS of Texas 10-7, so Alaska trying to go to 2-0, and TPA Texas trying to avoid going 0-2. Your starting lineups brought to you by Crossland Construction, and Alaska's the visiting team. Let's run down their starting lineup. Owen Melly will lead off. He'll be in right field, and followed by designated hitter Matthew Pinal. Ian Armstrong bats third. He's the first baseman. Jamie Mullen bats cleanup for Alaska, and he's at third base. Batting fifth will be Vince Venverlo, and he's at second base. David Shackelford will bat sixth and play in center field. Batting seventh, Sam Stevenson, and Stevenson is shortstop. Christian Olay bats eighth, and he's behind the plate. Batting ninth will be Alex Garcia in left field. Again, the lineup for Alaska: Melly, Pinal, Armstrong, Mullen, Venverlo, Shackelford, Stevenson, Olea, and Garcia, with Addison Walker, a right-hander on the hill for Alaska. We'll talk more about the starters for TPA momentarily. In the game previous to this, in this same pool, in fact, it was Junction City that was a winner over the GPS Legends, and so Junction City is now 2-0 in pool play, and GPS's Legends are at 0-2. So even if TPA loses this game and they are at 0-2, they still have a chance to advance on to elimination play after Tuesday. There are a lot of tiebreakers that can come into effect when teams have identical records, which happens a lot. But in case you're not aware, it's the top three teams in each pool that moves on to elimination play. There are only 4 teams in each pool, so 3 of the 4 move on. Certainly if this Alaska team is able to win this one and go to 2-0, they should have no problem advancing on to elimination play, which starts on Wednesday. The championship of this tournament will be next Saturday night at Equity Bank Park downtown, the site of old Lawrence Dumont Stadium, now the home of the Wichita Wind Surge, which is the AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins right here in Wichita. And the NBC very excited to have the championship game of this tournament back downtown, bring back a little nostalgia, although the ballpark is much newer. Here we go at 6:42 Central Time. The first pitch will be in, and it's way outside. As a wild one there gets away, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Game time temperature 92 degrees with a light breeze out of the south out towards left field at around 10 miles an hour. Owen Melly is the batter. 1 ball and no strikes to him, and another one that's high and away. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Hagen T. Arena is the tall left-handed pitcher for TPA of Texas. And he just missed again, and he's missed on all 3, and the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. T. Arena's from Maybank, Texas, and will attend Navarro Junior College, which is in Corsicana, Texas. Here's the pitch. He finally finds the zone at 87, a fastball on the outer edge, and the count is now 3-1. T. Arena goes 6 feet 5 inches tall, 225 pounds. And the 3-1 misses, and that's ball 4, so Owen Melly draws a leadoff walk to start this one. Alaska knocked off GPS Texas 10-7 again yesterday. The big inning for them was the 6th inning. They scored 5 times. But then a 2 spot for GPS Texas in the 7th inning tied the game at 7 apiece. Then Alaska in the bottom of the 8th inning answered with 3 more runs, and they turned out to be the difference in the game. Alaska 10, GPS Texas yesterday 7. Now here's Matthew Pinal, the designated hitter, and he takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. So T Arena battling with the control early. He's thrown 6 pitches and 5 of them have been balls. One ball and no strikes here, and this one is down low. And the count is now 2-0. Matthew Pinal from Southgate, California, attending Hope International. He's the designated hitter for Alaska here this evening, in the pitch. In there for a strike. And it's now 2-1. 10 hits and 10 runs and 13 hits for Alaska in their game yesterday. And this guy at the plate, Pinal, had 3 of those 10 hits. He went 3 for 5 with 2 runs batted in. Foul backing out of play. That'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alaska did commit 5 errors in the game yesterday. If I were to tell you that your team is going to commit 5 errors in a game, you probably wouldn't feel good about their chances, but that's what happened to them yesterday, and they still managed to win thanks to all that offense. Strike 3 called, and Pinal knew it. He was frozen at the plate. Good pitch that time by T Arena, and down goes Pinal. Strikeout victim looking for out number 1. I think he was looking for something other than that type of pitch because the location was there, but Pinal was just frozen. So here's first baseman Ian Armstrong. Armstrong had a nice game yesterday as well for Alaska. He went 2 for 5 with a double and a run batted in. And he takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. There are shadows between home plate and the pitcher's mound, so that might give hitters early on in the game a little bit of trouble. Fastball at 83 catches the outside edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Might make it a little tougher for hitters to pick up the ball, going from sunshine into shadows, which is customary at this time of day, this time of year. Ball and a strike. And the pitch. Up high for a ball, and the count's now 2-1. Runner at first, 1 away, top of the first inning. Alaska trying to go to 2-0 in pool play, while TPA Texas trying to avoid an 0-2 start. Outside and low, 3 balls and a strike. These two teams, like the 2 that played the game before this, will play their final pool games on Tuesday. And then all of elimination play starts on Wednesday. The pitch, outside for a ball, ball 4. Not the kind of start that T Arena needed. He's faced 3 batters, did strike out 1, but 2 of them he's walked, and so first and second with 1 away. And that'll get cleanup hitter Jamie Mullen up to the plate. Mullen did not play in the game yesterday, so this is his first plate appearance of the NBC. T Arena stretches. The infield will look for a double play, while Mullen sends this one foul and out of play. So the count to him is 0-1. T Arena, a long look in at his catcher to get the sign. And the pitch Misses for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. I mentioned that Alaska committed 5 errors yesterday. Well, how about the day for TPS Texas defensively? They committed a whopping 7 errors. 7 errors yesterday. So they have got to be better defensively if they plan to do much damage in this tournament. This pitch is down low, and their pitching has to get better in a hurry because Tiarina has walked 2. And now he's behind in the count here to Jamie Mullen. Vincent Venverlo waits on deck. Here comes the pitch. Big swing and a miss. So that is strike number 2. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and a big strikeout there for Tiarina. Boy, did he need that, and it's been feast or famine for Tiarina so far. He's got 2 strikeouts, but he's also issued 2 walks. But that was a much-needed strikeout swinging. Down goes Mullen for out number 2. So here's Vincent Venverlo. Try to keep the inning alive for Alaska. Tiarina through the stretch. And the pitch to Venverlo. Swung on and a little soft floater out into left field, but coming on to make the catch is going to be Jamison Lucky to retire the side. So 2 walks for Alaska, but they can't capitalize after half an inning. Goldpanners nothing, and TPA Texas coming up.
BMA's residential cleaning service knows there's no place like home, especially when your home is cleaned by our experienced staff. From floor to ceiling, we've got you covered. Learn more at bmasclean.com. BMA's Cleaning Sports, PBS, Kansas. Seriously good TV.
Well, the Alaska Goldpanners were given some opportunities with 2 first-inning walks, but they could not capitalize. So as we head to the bottom of inning number 1, it is a 0-0 score. And here's the starting lineup for TPA Texas. Jamison Lucky will lead off, and he's in left field. He'll be followed by Luke Regas, the catcher. Batting third, Levi Reisenhoover. He's in center field. Roman Carriaga hits cleanup for TPA Texas, and he's the designated hitter. Batting fifth, Aiden Lemasters. He's at first base. He'll be followed by right fielder Grant Moore, who bats sixth. Batting seventh, Rohan Colmer. He's at third base. Batting eighth, Jackson James, and James is at shortstop. Batting ninth, Angel Gutierrez, and Gutierrez is the second baseman. So again, the lineup for TPA Texas: Lucky, Regas, Reisenhoover, Carriaga, Lemasters, Moore, Colmer, James, and Gutierrez. And there's right-hander Addison Walker out of Mission Viejo, California, and Salt Lake Community College that will handle the pitching duties for this Alaska Goldpanner squad. So here's Jamison Lucky to step in and start it off for TPA Texas. He's a right-handed hitter and a left fielder for TPA Texas, trying to get his team's offense started, and here we go, bottom of the first inning. Walker's first pitch is swung on and lifted into center field. And it's pretty much right at David Shackelford. And there's one pitch, one away here in the bottom of the first inning. So that'll get Luke Regas up to the plate. Well, if you're Addison Walker, that's how you want to start off. Throw one pitch and get one out. And hope to stay somewhere close to that efficient. So Luke Regas is in. And the first pitch to Regas misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. I talked about the shadows earlier, and what's going to happen is the shadow that you see there between home plate and the pitcher's mound will actually drift over towards the first baseline as the sun sets. And then a little bit later on, just before a complete sunset, there will be more shadows that will start to creep in from other structures down the third baseline. However, it won't be as pronounced the later it gets, but there will be more shadows to move in as well. Still, can't make it any easier on the hitters. 2-0, here's the pitch. Yanked foul over toward the third base dugout. And the count is now 2 balls and a strike. Addison Walker works from the windup. And he's ready and delivers, and that one makes the count now 3 balls and a strike. Addison Walker is also 6 feet 5 inches tall, so both starting pitchers in this game, both of them go 6'5". The pitch down and away, and it gets away from the catcher, so Regas will head down to first base. He draws a walk. So 2 walks issued to Alaska hitters in the top of the inning. They couldn't capitalize. 1 here issued to Luke Regas. And now here's Levi Reisenhoover, the center fielder. Reisenhoover from Waxahachie, Texas. Right down Interstate 35 south of Dallas, about 35 miles or so. Attending the University of Texas at Tyler. He takes a strike, 0-1. There goes the runner. The pitch swung on and pulled foul outside the bag at third. So TPA Texas had a little hit and run going right there. Regas was moving. Reisenhoover was swinging, but pulled it foul. And the count is now 0-2. So Regas retreats. Here we go. And this one dribbles away from the catcher Olea behind the plate. And down to second base goes Regas anyway, and he'll advance on a wild pitch. So a runner at second now with a count 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's another look at Regas heading down to second. And the 1-2 pitch. Changeup lifted into center field. Shackelford going back to his left, still going back, and still going back. And he runs out of room because the ball clears the fence. A 2-run homer for Levi Reisenhoover. And TPA Texas has jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Well, that was to the deepest part of the ballpark in center field. 390 feet to straightaway center field. And that one just kept carrying. It really wasn't wind aided. What little wind there is, and there's not much at all, is blowing out to left field. Here's Roman Carriaga now. And the pitch to Carriaga. Half-hearted swing, and he comes up empty. Home Runs for Kansas Teachers is the charity that home run donations are going to, and that's now our 10th home run of this tournament. And so that's $1,000 in charity thanks to round trippers in this tournament. Carriaga down in the count 0-2 quickly, so Walker has recovered, and now Carriaga sends this one high and deep to left field. And this one is way back, and this one is out of here. A towering fly ball to left field, clears the fence. Back-to-back homers, and Carriaga will round the bases. And it's now a 3-0 game. Boy, that one was hit a mile high. I mean, a majestic, towering fly ball out to left. And that would be the 11th home run of this tournament. So now our score is 3-0. And I mean, Alex Garcia in left didn't even bother to watch that one, as he knew from the time it was struck it was going to leave the yard. Now here's Aiden LeMasters. Home runs for Kansas teachers. There you see the tally now up to $1,100 after the 11th home run. So Aiden Walker has to be a little shell-shocked at that. A walk and then back-to-back home runs this inning. Two balls and a strike, and the pitch from Walker after he gets the signal from Aaliyah. Walker very deliberate out there. Now the 2-1. Way low and outside. And the count is 3-1. Way inside, it almost hit him, and Masters had to spin out of the way. I don't know if it hit him or not. It was ball 4 if it didn't, so he'll go down to first base either way. And so with one out, a runner at first, and now a chance for more damage for this TPA Texas team. Grant Moore, the right fielder, will step up now. And the first pitch to Moore, line foul over on the left side. The count is 0-1 to him. Grant Moore from South Lake, Texas. Very well-known area for great athletes to come out of. Here's the pitch. Just missed outside. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, jumping away from first base is LeMasters. Thought he was going to distract Walker. Walker didn't see him, though. The pitch is home. And this pitch is swung on and fouled back and out of play. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's the youngster that grabbed the home run. Has to make him happy. Nothing like going to the ballpark and getting a souvenir. A ball and 2 strikes. Walker stretches, now throws to first. That time LeMasters had his attention, but LeMasters back in safely. Count even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sliced foul out of play over on the left side, and the count still 2-2. Back-to-back home runs in the inning. Levi Risenhoover and then Roman Carriaga. Risenhoover's was a 2-run shot. Carriaga, the very next batter, obviously a solo. And TPA Texas is out to a 3-0 lead. Walker ready and delivers, and another one fouled back and out of play. So the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bluffing again over at first is LeMasters, and the pitch is high and away for a ball, and the count's now 3-2. Well, there have been plenty of runs scored in this NBC so far. Friday, all 4 games ended early via the mercy rule. Teams ahead. There's ball 4. Down to first base goes Moore. Just to further the point, pitching and defense have been an issue for a lot of teams in this tournament. In fact, these two teams combined for 12 errors yesterday. As I mentioned, we have seen a ton of walks and hit batters in this tournament, and quite a few errors as well. But the bats have still come for most of these teams. This one looks like it could be a high-scoring game as well. Off-speed pitch to Roman Colmer, but he takes high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Turned into a long bottom of the first inning for Aiden Walker. The pitch lined into left field. That one is sinking. The runners were going on a hit and run. They've got to retreat, and the one at second will not get back in time. That's LeMasters doubled up 7-6, or 7-4, excuse me, on the liner to left field. So a nice job by Garcia to charge in. The hit and run was on, and LeMasters not back to the bag in time. So a much needed double play for Alaska, but TPA scores 3 times on back-to-back homers. They lead after 1, 3-0. Hagen Tiarina was shaky in the top of the first inning, but now his offense has gifted him a 3-run lead, and we'll see if he's able to utilize that as motivation to go out and now throw some strikes with his team up by the score of 3-0. And David Shackelford, the center fielder, will lead it off for TPA for Alaska, excuse me. Shackelford, a right-handed hitter out of La Habra, California, and another player going to Hope International. This Alaska team has 4 players, listing that as their college of choice. A ball and no strikes to Shackelford as he takes the first. And Tiarina delivers outside again. So, again, the theme of this tournament, one of them, pitchers not throwing strikes. A 3-0 lead for Tiarina, but he can't find the zone. 2 pitches into the top of the second inning. That one right across at 87 miles an hour. Looked like Tiarina that time just reared back out of frustration and hurled one straight across. So 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Fouled at the plate, and the count will even up now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shackelford was 1 for 4 in yesterday's 10-7 win over GPS Texas. Change up outside, and the count's full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Shackelford also scored a run and had an RBI. Three and 2, and the pitch chopped foul up the third baseline, and the count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Shackelford retreats. And you can see, as I was talking about earlier, how the shadows between home plate and the mound have now started to drift over actually toward the first baseline. And again, we will see some more creep in later on, closer to sunset. The pitch, line to left field and pretty well struck. And going back is going to be the left fielder Lucky, and he's going to have to play it off the wall. And sliding into second base safely is David Shackelford with a leadoff double. That was really well struck, and Lucky started back and for a minute looked like he might try to reach up and catch it, and then he realized he didn't have a chance, so he just turned his back to the infield and was going to play it off the wall, which he did well. Caught the carom quickly and got it back to the infield, but easy double for David Shackelford to start the second inning. So here's Sam Stevenson now, the shortstop. And Stevenson goes after the first pitch and sends it foul down the left side. 0-1 to him. Stevenson from Springdale, Arkansas, and attending Northwestern State. 0-1, and the pitch is inside. Northwestern State in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And if you don't know how to spell Natchitoches, don't try, because you probably won't be close. Northwestern State Demons. Here's the pitch, and that's outside. Tiarina is missing a lot outside. Natchitoches is spelled Natchitoches, I believe. 2 balls and a strike. Here comes the pitch. And that one is outside, 3-1. Northwestern State also getting representation from the BTL team in this NBC World Series. There's a strike. Stevenson thought it was ball 4, but Ethan McCrane is the home plate umpire, and he had other thoughts. So the count's now full at 3-2. Runner at second, nobody out. Top of the second inning, and this one is chopped foul. And the count remains full at 3-2. Quite a bit of space in right center field for Sam Stevenson. Is out in center field. Levi Reisenhoover is shading him a little bit towards left field. Here's the pitch. Chopped foul again right at the plate. And the count's still full at 3-2. And in right field for TPA Texas, Grant Moore is playing pretty shallow. There you can see the chop off the leg for Stevenson. So if Stevenson can find the gap in right center field, he can run for a long time based on the positioning of the center fielder and the right fielder. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and here comes the pitch. Strike 3 called. He also thought that was ball 4. That one did appear to be maybe high and away. We'll get another look at it. The Alaska fans are letting the home plate umpire have it. Well, definitely not high, but perhaps outside. But not according to Ethan McCraney, and that's a strikeout looking. That's the Third strikeout of the game for Tiarina. So one out here in the second inning now for Christian Olea. And that one looked to be in a very similar location, but called a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Olea. Tim Horton is the first base umpire. Ryan Stork is the third. And again, Ethan McCraney is behind the plate. A ball and no strikes. And the pitch. High and away, 2-0. Christian Olea had a big day yesterday. Hitting out of the 7 spot, he went 3 for 5 with a run scored. He sends this one foul. Straight behind the plate and out of play, and it's 2-1. In addition to the 10 runs that Alaska scored yesterday, they stranded 10 base runners as well. It could have been a lot more than the 10 runs they scored. Off-speed pitch up high, and the count's now 3-1. And once again, Tiarina just cannot consistently find the zone. He walked 2 in the first inning and fell behind Shackelford here before Shackelford delivered that double. And now down in the count here, and there is a third walk of the day already. On 5 pitches, Olea down to first base as he draws the 1-out walk. And that's going to get one of the coaches for TPA Texas out of the dugout to talk with Tiarina. Try to get him settled in. This is the final game of baseball round the clock. We've been doing it since yesterday at noon. Baseball all the way through, with the exception of about a 30-minute window in between each of the games. We did get a little bit longer than that after Hutchinson played Dodge City today, because that game ended in the 7th inning because Hutchinson was leading 10-0. So that game ended earlier than expected, and that allowed the 3 o'clock game to start on time, but then it ran long, and so here we are at 7:17 of the 6 o'clock game, just in the second inning. Alex Garcia, the batter, with runners at first and second. And he takes outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes, that one at 85 miles an hour. Corner infielders playing even with the bag. Up the middle, they play back at normal depth, looking for a double play. Here's the pitch. Inside corner, it's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Alex Garcia, 1 for 3 yesterday with the run scored and an RBI. There go the runners. The pitch high and outside. There'll be no throw. A double steal. Down to third goes Shackelford, and down to second goes Olea. Boy, they both got a great jump, and behind the dish, not even attempted throw by Luke Regas. So runners at second and third now. 1 out in the inning, and the count is 2 balls and a strike to Alex Garcia. And was there a pitch clock violation? Ryan Stork, the third base umpire, was motioning something to Tiarina. He's not sure what. Neither is the dugout for TPA Texas. I guess there was. It's now 3-1. And the pitch is a strike, and the count's now full at 3-2. And the Alaska fans are now on Ethan McCraney, the home plate umpire. So the count's now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the full count offering. lined off of Tiarina's back. The throw will be the first, and the throw is just in the nick of time for a 6-3 putout, but a run will score, and it's 3-1. Tiarina turned around, and that one I thought deflected, maybe off his back, not hard. We'll see if it did catch him watching the replay, or maybe his right wrist, because he tried to make a backhanded catch with his glove. If there was any contact with his body, it wasn't severe. He's fine. And Garcia's going to get an RBI on the 6-3 putout for the second out of the inning. Down to third goes Olea, and scoring was Shackelford on the play to make it 3-1. So we're back at the top of the order now with Owen Melly. He led off the game by walking. And that one looked pretty good, but called a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Melly. Melly from Thousand Oaks, California. Two balls and a strike to count to him. Playing collegiately, he will at Cal Poly. Thousand Oaks, California, back in the 80s, was the home of the training camp for the Dallas Cowboys. 2-1. Little random note there from football because training camps have started around the NFL. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Melly. After his walk in the first inning, he reached second base, but was stuck there the rest of the way. Counts even 2-2 with a runner at third, 2 outs, and the pitch lifted foul on the right side and out of play. And the count remains 2-2. You can see the clock there running in the upper right of your screen, 31 hours. That's how long ago baseball around the clock started. And here we are on Sunday night, still going. High towering fly ball to right field. The wind played some tricks with it, but Grant Moore is there. He hauls it in and the side retired, but Alaska able to get across a run, and they've pulled to within 2. After 1.5, TPA Texas 3, Alaska 1.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's the summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. Morgan?
Baseball tournament. My Sport at the Homeland Field.
How about you two?
Mud bath.
Get 0% APR financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Plus, get a complimentary maintenance plan for 24 months.
Back-to-back homers in the bottom of the first inning helped TPA Texas get a 3-0 lead. Alaska answered back with a single run in the top of the second inning, and now TPA Texas will start the bottom of the second inning with Jackson James leading off out of the 8th spot. They're starting shortstop, and the first pitch from Addison Walker is a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0 changeup finishes short of the dish at 77 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes. James Angel Gutierrez, the second baseman, the catcher, and then back to the top of the order with Jamison Lucky. So 8, 9, and 1. The count now is 3 balls and no strikes to James. Walker ready and delivers the 3-0, and that one is down low, ball 4. And a 4-pitch walk to start the bottom of the second inning, issued by Addison Walker. So down to first base goes Jackson James. So that'll get Angel Gutierrez up to the plate. Gutierrez is from Houston and attending Eastfield College. The throw down low, snap throw to first, and they got him. Oh, I think James thought that the ball was going to squirt by Olea, the catcher, but it didn't. Olea did a good job of stopping it, then alertly throwing to first base. And the leadoff walk is erased by a 2-3 pickoff at first base. And there you can see there was no doubt about it. Once Olea got off the bag at first base, he got off entirely too far. 1 ball and no strikes, the count to Gutierrez at the plate. And here's the pitch. Lifted to right field. Melly is going to drift over a few steps to his left, and he's there, and he's got it. Out number 2. So this inning started with a lot of promise with the leadoff walk. So many times that can start big innings for teams, or at least an inning to get a run across. But Jackson James picked off first, 2-3. And now quickly it's up to Jamison Lucky to keep the inning alive. He swings at the first pitch and sends it back over the backstop behind the plate, and it's 0-1. Shadows are now about halfway between the pitcher's mound and home plate. The pitch way outside and low, and the count's 1 ball and 1 strike. Big swing and a miss. That one at 80, it looked like Walker took something off, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jamison Lucky from North Richland Hills, Texas. Count's now even at 2-2. It's in the Fort Worth area. Playing collegiately at Northeastern State in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. He'll send one on the ground here to short. Stevenson had it and then lost it, and he had a long way to go to his left to try and field that one, then get off a throw that would have been rushed as well. Almost certainly that would be a base hit. As an awfully tough play for any shortstop to make right there. And on at first base is Jamison Lucky. This is all artificial surface here at X Stadium, so that ball scoots across it at a very rapid pace. Luke Regas now swings at the first pitch and sends this one foul out of play, 0-1. If you're watching on YouTube and can't tell, the brown parts of this field on the infield and around the warning track and the pitcher's mound for that reason, that's actually painted artificial surface. It is not dirt. 0-1 to Regas. Throw over to first, and back diving in safely is Jamison Lucky. Of course, this is the home of the Wichita State Shockers, a beautiful ballpark, X Stadium in northeast Wichita. A symmetrical ballpark, 330 down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, 390 to straightaway center field. There goes the runner. He's going to slide headfirst into second. A stolen base for Jamison Lucky as there's no throw. Well, another thing about something we're seeing an awful lot of in this tournament very aggressive base running by these teams. We are seeing a lot of steals, double steals, hits and runs. A lot of traffic out there. Here's a little one-hopper back to the hill. Walker's going to field and throw to first in time for a 1-3 putout, and the side retired. So a leadoff walk issued, but a pickoff helped keep TPA Texas off the board. After 2, TPA 3 and Alaska 1. Welcome back to X Stadium as we're ready for the third inning. 3-1 our score. TPA Texas over the Alaska Goldpanners. Another nice award, Terry Brewster Award, issued to Dennis Fauntleroy, a local longtime supporter of the NBC World Series. Always fun to see those awards handed out for those who are so much a part of this tournament, as Terry Brewster has been for so long. Start of the third inning now. Matthew Pinal, the batter for Alaska, leading things off, and he's going to slice one to the opposite field. This is going to get down, and it's going to bounce all the way to the fence, and Pinal is going to motor into second base and get there easily with a leadoff stand-up double. Well, he found the gap in left center field, sliced one, and on one hop it hit the fence, and an easy trip into second base for Pinal. You can see that one slicing away from the center fielder who was chasing it down, Reisenhuber. So the leadoff batter aboard down at second base, that's Pinal, and here's Ian Armstrong now. And Armstrong first pitch swings, and he sends one toward the gap in right center field. This one's going to bounce off the fence as well. Pinal's rounding third. He's going to score on a stand-up RBI double for Ian Armstrong. And Alaska now has pulled to within a run. It's 3-2. So back-to-back stand-up doubles to the gap. The first one to left center by Pinal, and then Armstrong goes to right center. He'll get the RBI. And Alaska's pulled within a run again. It's now 3-2. So here's Jamie Mullen now. Mullen's trying to get Armstrong home from third, and if he does, that would tie the score. And the pitch, high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The hit column even at 3 for these two teams, but TPA Texas has one more run, 3-2. This one is a high drive belted to deep left field, and you can forget this one. That one is long gone. It's bouncing across 21st Street. A 2-run homer for Jamie Mullen, and Alaska has taken the lead. He not only cleared the scoreboard in left field, but that one went over the chain link fence separating this property from 21st Street. And I saw the ball roll across the street, and a car actually rolled, it looked like, right over it. A blast here in the third inning from Jamie Mullen has given Alaska a 4-3 lead. And that's the 12th home run of this tournament, by the way, so there's another $100 to the charity. But see if we can see the ball rolling across the street. There it was, and then a car rolled right over it. What a blast for Jamie Mullen. And a 3 spot for Alaska here in the third inning, and that's 3 extra base hits as well. Now Vincent Venverlo is at the plate, and he's down in the count 0-2. It wasn't just the distance on that home run by Mullen, but it was also the trajectory. I mean, he hit that a mile high and long. And you watch the reaction from Jamison Lucky out in left field, and he barely even moved. There it is. 12 home runs means $1,200. Home runs for Kansas teachers, as the NBC is contributing to that cause. There's a line drive to right field, snagged in right field by Grant Moore, and there's out number 1 finally. So 1 away now for David Shackelford. Shackelford had a double back in the second inning. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. So a 3 spot for Alaska here in the inning, and they forged ahead 4-3. Back-to-back homers for TPA in the bottom of the first inning. 2 doubles and a home run for Alaska here in the top of the fourth. A ball and 2 strikes, the count to Shackelford. Here's the pitch. That one bounces in. And the count's now 2-2. High and away, ball 3. So once again, trouble for Tiarina with the control. On the verge of issuing another walk. Here comes the pitch. A big swing and a miss instead, and he's going to get a strikeout. Badly needed that one. Shackelford down swinging, and that's the second out of the inning. That's the 3rd strikeout of the day for Tiarina, as he gets David Shackelford coming up empty. So here's Sam Stevenson now. Stevenson was the 2nd strikeout victim for Tiarina back in the second inning. He was caught looking, and now he lines one foul up the right side, just outside the bag at first. No balls and a strike to Sam Stevenson. Tiarina stretches and throws high and away, and the count's now even at 1-1. Nice breeze blowing out of the south toward left field. Pitch is up high for a ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Things have cooled off some since the start of the day, when temperature was in the low to high 90s. Right now it's at 90 degrees as this one is lifted over into right field. Backing up is Grant Moore, and he's going to move under it and make the catch. And the side retired. But a long home run in the inning by Jamie Mullen rolls across 21st Street, rolls right around the vicinity of a car. Look out if you're on 21st. This one's coming your way. 4-3 Alaska. Well, for the first time tonight, Addison Walker will take the mound with his team leading now after Alaska puts up a 3-spot in the top of the third inning, and they lead TPA Texas by the score of 4-3. The go-ahead home run by Jamie Mullen, a towering 2-run shot to left field that left the ballpark and rolled across 21st Street, has given Alaska a 1-run lead, 4-3. Here's Levi Reisenhuber to start the bottom of the third inning, and he takes a 0-1. Reisenhuber, Roman Carrigan, and Carriaga, and Aiden LeMasters. 3, 4, and 5 for TPA Texas here in the inning. Down now by a run. A ball and a strike, the count to Reisenhuber. Reisenhuber had that 2-run homer in the bottom of the first inning. The first of back-to-back home runs for TPA Texas in the inning. Change up inside, and the count's now 2-2. That one at 70 miles an hour for Addison Walker. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one outside, and the count's now 3-2. Full count pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Walker, after throwing a changeup a time or two, a couple pitches earlier, comes back with an 86-mile-an-hour fastball there, and Reisenhuber couldn't keep up with it. And down he goes, a strikeout victim. One away here in the bottom of the third inning for Roman Carriaga. That's the first strikeout of the game for Addison Walker. Now Carriaga, who also had a home run back in the first inning, swings at the first pitch here and lines it into center field. That's down for a base hit. So a good start to the game for Roman Carriaga. He is 2 for 2 with a home run and now a single here in the bottom of the third inning. He's on at first with one out for Aiden LeMasters. LeMasters walked back in the first inning, so no official at bat for him as of yet. From Boyd, Texas. Did you notice LeMasters' college of choice on the graphic there? If you didn't, It's also on the printed roster for TPA Texas as he fouls this one back and out of play. His college of choice is transfer portal, something you see much more of these days. And if you asked a lot of people who are fans of college sports, they would say, unfortunately, that's the case. 0-1, and the pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Down and away, 2-1. About 12 and a half minutes. Baseball around the clock will hit the 32-hour mark. There are some fans that, I don't know how many, but have stuck around the entire time. 3-1 the count. Out in right field in the berm last night, there were some fans that pitched a tent and they stayed out there and slept. Here's the pitch. Line drive, fair ball, inside the bag at third and heading down to the corner. Heading to third base is going to be Carriaga. He's going to stop there on a stand-up double for Aiden LeMasters. And now TPA Texas with 1 out has 2 in scoring position. Well, that one was well struck by LeMasters right down the line at third, and Jamie Mullen diving to his right couldn't get a glove on it, and Carriaga easily into third and LeMasters easily into second base. So here's Grant Moore now with a chance to do some damage. He's got 2 in scoring position. But first timeout is called, and there will be a conversation amongst one of the coaches for Alaska and their infielders. And in fact, there's also going to be a pitching change. Addison Walker's day is done. So a pitching change being made, bottom of the 3rd inning, with Alaska leading by the score of 4-3.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's the summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. Morgan?
Baseball tournament. Mike Sports at the home field.
How about you two?
Mud bath.
Get 0% APR financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Plus, get a complimentary maintenance plan for 24 months.
Ian Moore is the relief pitcher for the Alaska Goldpanners here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, with the Goldpanners clinging to a 1-run lead, 4-3. And I say clinging because not only are they just up a run, but TPA Texas also has 2 in scoring position, as the power bats have come out in this contest for both teams. In the 1st inning, TPA Texas had back-to-back home runs by Levi Reisenhoover and Roman Carriaga. And then Alaska answered in the top of the 3rd inning with a mammoth home run by Jamie Mullen, but that came after 2 doubles hit by Alaska hitters. So we definitely have already seen our share of extra base hits, and we could be in store for a high-scoring affair in this one. Already 4-3, and the 3rd inning is all, and 2 runners in scoring position for TPA Texas. Grant Moore, the right fielder, is the batter. And Moore takes the first pitch for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Moore walked his first time up, so no official at bat for him yet. Here's the pitch, high and away for a ball. And Olea behind the plate bluffs a throw to third. Nothing doing as Carriaga gets back. Grant Moore did not play in the game yesterday when TPA Texas lost to Junction City. He takes another ball and the count's 3-0, so Alaska goes to the bullpen, but continuing the trend of pitchers falling behind hitters and issuing walks. That's on the verge of happening right here. The 3-0 pitch is high and tight for a ball, so Ian Moore comes in and in 4 pitches allows a runner to reach on a walk. So down to first base goes Moore, and now the bases are loaded for TPA Texas for Rohan Culmer, the third baseman. Culmer lined out to left field back in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. From the Bahamas, Rohan Culmer. Infield looks for a double play. Change up at 78, in for a strike, 0-1. I've seen a lot of, as you see, the infield for Alaska, even with the bag at the corners, back deep looking for a double play up the middle. 0-1, here's the pitch. Fouled back and out of play. I was about to say, I've seen a lot of players from a lot of different places in this tournament, but I don't think I've seen one until now from the Bahamas. Rohan Culmer is the first for me. And that's in about 10 years of this. 0-2. Culmer sends one to center field. Charging on is going to be Shackelford. He's going to get there and make the catch. The runner is off the bag at second. The throw is to second, and it's in time for an 8-6 double play, as off the bag at second too far was LeMasters. That's the second time today we've seen a double play on a line drive with a runner that got too far off the bag. And Shackelford's going to get the assist right there. 8-6 on that twin killing, and the potential rally killed by the defense of Alaska. We'll go to the fourth. 4-3 Alaska.
There's something happening in Wichita. Excitement, movement, a vibe. A city that offers amazing experiences delivered with heart. Come see the place we love. We think you'll love it too. Discover more at visitwichita.com.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
Okay, I'm ready. Thanks. Yep. There's some of the fans that have been here for baseball round the clock going for their final check-in. They check in periodically to let the tournament know that they're still here, as proof that there are plenty of people here for baseball around the clock that have been here the whole time, and that's how they collect some of the gifts and merch that they get for staying here for the 31 plus hours, almost 32 now, that baseball around the clock has taken place. And so they were heading to their final check-in to say, yep, I'm still here, and collect whatever goodies the NBC has for them for sticking it out since 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We start the fourth inning in a leadoff base hit for Sam Stevenson. He's on at first base, and now here's Christian Olay, the catcher, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1 to him. 4-3 is our score. Alaska with the lead. TPA Texas threatened, had the bases loaded with one out in the bottom of the last inning, but an 8-6 double play ended that threat. Bunting here is Olay, but he tips it foul, and it's now 0-2. Rohan Comer lined to center field, and Aiden LeMasters got caught too far off the bag at second, heading to third, and he was doubled up 8-6. 0-2, and here's the pitch, chopped foul, and the count remains 0-2. Olay walked his first time up, so this would be his first official at bat, assuming he doesn't do that here. He won't. A slow roller to the second baseman, who's going to try to touch the base runner going to second. He misses, and then the throw gets by as well, and everybody's safe. What a wild play that one was, as Angel Gutierrez tried to tag Stevenson coming from first and second, and he missed him. Then threw to first to try to retire Olay, and that one got away, and everybody's safe. And that'll be the first error of the contest, and it's issued to TPA Texas, excuse me. So now here's Owen Melly. There goes the runner from first to second, and Melly swings and goes the opposite way. That's down. That'll be a base hit. And that's going to score two as Melly goes into second base. He's there with a 2 RBI double, and Alaska now has jumped out to a 6-3 lead. And that'll bring up Matthew Pinal. Boy, what a nice job of going the other way from Melly and scoring all the way from first base was Garcia, as Garcia got off to a really good jump on a hit and run, so he was able to score from all the way around from first base. So Owen Melly with 2 runs batted in. He's out at second now, and Alaska has doubled up TPA Texas 6-3. Now there goes the runner to third, and he's going to head for a slide, and Melly steals third. And just like that, Alaska's got their potential 7th run of the game 90 feet away. So the infield for TPA Texas is now in as the pitch is fouled back to the screen. And the count is 0-2. Matthew Pinal doubled his last time up. Here comes the pitch. Down and away. Pinal's double was out of the leadoff spot in the third inning. It started a string of back-to-back doubles and back-to-back-to-back extra base hits. 1-2, and the pitch. This one is sliced to the gap left center field. Well struck, and this one's going to land, and it's going to one-hop the fence and go over it. It'll be an RBI stand-up double for Pinal, and another run is scored for Alaska as their bats are starting to warm up now, and they lead by the score of 7-3. And Pinal now has 2 doubles on the night. That's his first run batted in. And scoring was Alex Garcia from third. And that will do it now as a pitching change being made. T Arena's night is done for TPA Texas. Pitching change being made, timeout on the field, 7-3 Alaska.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each just $3 or less. Starring the cheesy double beef burrito. Double the seasoned beef, all the cheesiness, and so much craveable flavor. Get it on the Cravings Value Menu, only at Taco Bell.
Brock McCown is the new pitcher for TPA Texas. He comes on here in the 4th inning as the Alaska Goldpanners got off to a slow start offensively, scoreless in the 1st inning, but they scratched across a run in the 2nd, and now they've got their 2nd consecutive 3-run inning working, although this inning they've scored 3. They've got a runner at second base and nobody out, so they could be far from over here. So Alaska now, who trailed 3-0 after 1, is ahead 7-3, and they've got a runner in scoring position. As there you see McCown out of Argyle, Texas, and Paris Community College comes on to try to stop the bleeding for TPA Texas. But he'll have to face the dangerous part of this Alaska lineup. Ian Armstrong is the number 3 hitting first baseman for Alaska. He's up there now. And the pitch to Armstrong is swung on and lifted into center field, and that's going to send David Shackelford back. He'll make the catch. Runner is tagging from second to third, though, and he'll get there. Pinal alertly tags up, and he's now down at third. So Armstrong, a long fly out to center field. That's the first out of the inning. But on the play, Pinal down to third, and now he's 90 feet away for Jamie Mullen. Mullen had that monstrous 2-run homer to left field in the last inning, his last time up. First pitch to him here is an off-speed pitch at 68 miles an hour. Well outside, 1 ball and no strikes. He cleared the scoreboard easily out in left field, did Mullen. Cleared the chain link fence, and the ball rolled across 21st Street beyond it, out in left field. He gets under this one quite a bit. A towering fly ball to shallow left field. And that'll send the shortstop James back into shallow left, and he makes the catch. That's a big out, too. It was not deep enough for Pinal to tag. So Mullen is retired on the fly ball to shortstop, and now here's Vincent Vanverlo. Vanverlo getting into lonesome territory. He doesn't have a hit yet. He's the number 5 hitter, and he's flied out twice, but Alaska now has 6 hits to their credit, but he does not have one. He is 0 for 2. The pitch gets away, and that's going to get the runner home. Sliding safely is Pinal, as Olea couldn't handle it. Or excuse me, behind the dish, that was Gutierrez that couldn't handle it, and Pinal scores from third. Now 8-3, Alaska with the lead. And that'll be a wild pitch. A ball and a strike, and now this one is way outside. Pitch is in there for a strike. It's 2-2. Vince Vanderloo, the 7th man to bat in the inning for the Alaska Goldpanners. Here's the pitch. Lined into center field. That's down. That'll be a base hit. So Vanderloo does get into the hitting act, as his first base hit of the night is a single to center field with 2 outs. And that'll bring David Shackelford up to the plate. Shackelford doubled in the second inning, struck out in the third. First pitch to Shackelford. In there, it's a strike, 0-1. Pitch skips in. And a nice stop behind the dish by Angel Gutierrez. A ball and a strike to count at the plate to Shackelford. And a throw to first, and back diving in is Vanderloo. McCown looks over at first. He'll go through this stretch. And here comes the pitch. Bouncing ball over to third, but foul. Just outside the line. So the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the shadows that I was talking about are coming back from a different part of the ballpark, but again, not as dark of a shadow as we had earlier because the sun is starting to set, but still a little bit of darkness between the pitcher's rubber and home plate. Then some sunshine, then some more darkness as well right around the plate area. There you see that sliver of sunlight in between the mound and home plate. 1-2, the pitch way outside. And that'll even things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have passed the 32-hour mark of baseball round the clock. Two and two. Here comes the pitch. Way outside, ball 3. And the count's now full at 3-2. That one is foul, and the count stays full 3-2. Brock McCown, not the only player for TPA Texas attending Paris Junior College. I mentioned earlier that Grant Moore is as well. Those two both attending Paris JC. 3 balls and 2 strikes. McCown stretches, and this one is fouled back. Good at bat for David Shackelford as he's fought up a few now 2-strike pitches. And we'll have to try it again. In fact, speaking of the shadows, McCown's chest is in the sunshine. His lower part of his body's not. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. And now, Alaska will have batted around once Sam Stevenson reaches the plate. He is now the 9th man to bat this inning. Alaska has scored 4 times. They lead by 5, now 8-3. And in this inning, they will have sent 9 to the plate with Stevenson arriving. 2 outs, runners at first and second. And here comes the pitch. Changeup that misses at 80 miles an hour. 1 ball and no strikes. Stevenson is 0 for 2 on the night. And now those hitless Goldpanners get fewer and fewer as they've pounded out 7 hits already, and we're just in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Once this game is complete, the NBC takes a break until 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Fouled at the plate, and it's now 2-1. And there's a good look at Sam Stevenson. He was 0 for 2 in the win yesterday over GPS Texas 10-7. So he is still looking for that elusive first hit of the tournament. He makes good contact here, but lines it right to left field, and that will be snagged out there by Lucky and will retire the side. But a 4 spot for Alaska in the 4th, and they've built a 5-run lead. Goldpanners 8, and TPA Texas 3. Well, the Alaska Goldpanners have scored 8 unanswered runs since they spotted TPA Texas 3 in the bottom of the 1st inning. TPA got off to a hot start in this contest as they were able to get a walk, a home run, and then another home run. Levi Reisenhoover and Roman Carriaga hit the 2 back-to-back homers, and TPA Texas for a little bit looked like they might be in for a big offensive night, but they have been quiet in the next couple of innings since. And all that Alaska's Goldpanners has done since the first inning is score 8 runs. And so it's now Alaska 8 and TPA Texas 3 as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. And the first pitch is going to be swung on by Jackson James, and he's going to hit a bouncing ball to short. Sam Stevenson charges. Stevenson makes the play, and 1 away. So a good start to the inning for this Alaska team defensively, as there's 1 out and 1 pitch. And now here's Angel Gutierrez. Gutierrez 0 for 1. He flied out to right his first time up. And the pitch is a changeup that's in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Pitch is low, and the count's now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Oklahoma MVP and Seattle's Blackfins at noon tomorrow when the NBC resumes. That action from Pool A. Bouncing ball left side, that's through for a base hit. Angel Gutierrez goes the opposite way, makes a big turn at first, but he'll stop right there with a 1-out single. Boy, a really nice job with an inside-out swing right there, going the opposite way, just inside the bag at third and down the line for a 1-out single. And there you can see a pretty swing, and he likes the result. So back to the top of the order now with Jamison Lucky. Lucky is 1 for 2. He singled and stole a base back in the 2nd inning. Takes away here, 1 ball and no strikes. These two teams are playing in Pool D. They will next be in action on Tuesday. There goes the runner. He's going to steal second as Gutierrez a head first slide, and he's in there easily with a stolen base. So Gutierrez now, who got a great jump, you can see beat the throw easily, and he's now down at second base. TPA Texas will play the GPS Legends Tuesday at noon. Tuesday at 6, Junction City and the Alaska Goldpanners will do battle. And that'll wrap up pool play for Pool D that both of these teams are playing in. 3 balls and no strikes, the count at the plate. And there's ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk to Jamison Lucky. And yet another free pass in this contest. Alaska trying to get to 2-0 in pool play. They'll do that if they hold on to this win. Junction City is already at 2-0. They won earlier today. So Alaska can certainly clinch a trip to elimination play if they hold on here. And if they do, they have a chance to win the pool outright as well. Either way, they would move on to bracket play if they win this contest. 1 ball and no strikes, the count to Luke Regas, the catcher. He is 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Lifted, shallow right field. The second baseman Venverlo is back and in shallow right center field. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 away. So 2 outs now with runners at first and second. And that'll bring up Levi Reisenhoover. Reisenhoover had one of the back-to-back home runs for TPA Texas in the first inning. And the pitch is a bouncing ball to third, fielded and backhanded by Mullen deep at third. He'll throw to first and bounce it across in time. Dug out well there. A nice job by Mullen, and a 5-3 putout retires the side. So TPA Texas threatens, but they don't score. They leave 2. And after 4, 8-3 Alaska. Christian Ollier led off the top of the fourth inning for Alaska, and that started an inning where the Goldpanners scored 4 times, sent 9 to the plate, which means he will lead off the fifth inning as well. 8-3, Alaska with the lead. After they fell behind in the first inning, 3-0, they've scored 8 runs since, and they have not given up a run since as well. So now they lead by 5, and they try to add to their 5-run lead. Olay's had a busy night. He's been on base both plate appearances. He walked in the second inning, but stole a base and scored, and then he singled and scored in the fourth inning. And the first pitch he sees, he takes down and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes from Brock McCown, who came on in the last inning. 1-0. And here comes the pitch. That one down low, and the count's now 2 balls and no strikes. Olay, Alex Garcia, then Owen Melly. 8-9-1 for Alaska here in the inning. If anybody gets aboard, Matthew Pinal. And another one off the mark, and the count's now 3-0. Pitchers in this game and in both that I've seen today just begging for trouble, continuing to issue free passes or at the very least fall behind in counts and have to give very good pitches to hit. In this case, a 4-pitch walk, and down to first base goes Olay. So Olay has now been on base all 3 times tonight. 2 walks and a base hit, and if he gets the same result from reaching base that he's gotten the first 2 times, he's going to score a run, because he also scored a run each time he reached base earlier in this game. Here's Alex Garcia now, and Garcia takes a 1. He grounded out to short in the second inning and reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth. He also came around to score in the fourth inning on Owen Melly's 2 RBI double. Now Angel Gutierrez is out from behind the plate to talk to his pitcher. Maybe those two aren't on the same page or something. You normally don't see that after a strike. That's why you wonder. But Brock McCown has his pitcher come out and chat, and now Gutierrez back behind the dish. Olay gets his lead over at first. McCown doesn't really pay much attention. Instead, a little weak bouncing ball over to first, and a step on the bag for one, and a throw to second for two. Well done by Rohan Culmer, that was the first baseman, Lemasters, who stepped on the bag, and so when he throws to second base, the tag has to be applied by Jackson James, the shortstop, and he did. It's no longer a force out, so you can see Lemasters steps on the bag, and there's James applying the tag. So a 3-6 double play erases the base runner, and we go back to the top of the order now with Owen Melly. Melly had a 2 RBI double his last time up, and he takes a strike here, 0-1. Alaska has out-hit TPA Texas 8-6. They've outscored them 8-3, and now here's a hot shot, and that'll be the 9th base hit of the night. Melly smashes one over to third base, and that was simply too hot for Culmer to handle. It deflected off of his glove over to the shortstop, but Jackson James would not make a throw. No point in trying that. So that'll be a base hit, and that'll be the 9th hit of the game for Alaska. And now Matthew Pinnell will step up. Pinnell has doubles in back-to-back at-bats. So he's having a very nice night. He's also scored 2 runs on the evening. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball through on the right side. That's down for a base hit. Rounding second and on his way to third is Melly. Pinnell will stop at first. He's got 3 base hits in a row, 2 doubles and now a single, and runners at the corners for Alaska with 2 away. So he is really feeling it now, Pinnell, tonight. 3 for 4 with 2 extra base hits. And boy, that double play really looms large now for Alaska. They could have a really big inning in the making. Instead, they've got nobody in so far but runners at the corners with 2 away. And now here's Ian Armstrong. McCown to Armstrong. He takes outside for a ball, 1-0. Armstrong had a double in the third inning. Again, a lot of extra base hits in this one. Seen a few home runs, handful of doubles, and 11 runs, and we're not even halfway through. There's a bouncing ball deep in the hole at short. Fielded, and a strong throw is going to be high, and that's going to allow a run to score, and down to third base is going to go Lucky. Gutierrez scores. Melly scores. Pinnell down to third. As Armstrong reaches first, that throw was too high. It was just too deep in the hole at short. And if that throw is in time and on the money, the run doesn't score. It's a force out, obviously, at first, but Melly able to score, and that was ruled a base hit. And Armstrong stops at first base. So now 9-3. Alaska has the lead. Now here's Jamie Mullen, who takes a strike, 0-1. So this is the 4th inning in a row that Alaska has been able to score at least 1 run. McCown pitches, and that one is low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The hit count for Alaska now sitting at 11. 9 runs and 11 hits. The pitch swung on, fly ball, shallow left field. This one could be trouble. Garcia coming on. He's not going to get there, and it bounces over his head, and that's going to be an RBI double. Stopping at third is Armstrong, but Pinal scores easily, running on contact with 2 outs. And Jamie Mullen has a double to go with a home run. He picks up another RBI, and now it's 10-3. Alaska with the lead. So it's been all Goldpanners who were down 3-0 after 1 inning. But they have really poured it on since, and they lead by 7. Here's Vince Vanverlo. And he takes high and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. So now Alaska appears to be well on their way to 2-0. Setting up a 2-0 matchup against a 2-0 team in Junction City on Tuesday. Vanverlo swings at this one and sends it to shallow left field. Much more playable, though, for Alex Garcia, who moves under it and makes the catch, and the side retired. But another crooked number for Alaska. This inning, they score twice, and as we go to the bottom of the 5th, they lead by the score of 10-3. Lefty Jonah Walker on to pitch for Alaska as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. And Walker delivers a pitch that misses to Roman Carriaga to start the bottom of the 5th. Carriaga, the cleanup hitter and designated hitter. A 1st inning home run for him and a 3rd inning single. Now the count to him, though, is 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a look at the information on Jonah Walker out of Lincoln, Nebraska and North Dakota State University. 1-1. And a changeup is in there at 75 for a strike. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one is chopped back toward the plate, but that's going to be a foul ball, 1-2 still. So there are 2 walkers on the team for Alaska. It doesn't appear that they are related, but both of them have already pitched in this game. Addison Walker was the starting pitcher out of Mission Viejo, California. Jonah Walker in now out of Lincoln, Nebraska. The pitch is chopped foul again, this time up the third baseline. That doesn't necessarily mean they aren't related, but it gives a good chance that they aren't. Addison Walker attending Salt Lake Community College. Jonah Walker, North Dakota State. Possibly related, possibly not. 1-2, bouncing ball over to short. Stevenson charging in. Fields throws on a hot, nice dig over at first base for a 6-3 putout. And there's one away. That was a nice job by Armstrong over at first. So that'll get Aiden LeMasters up to the plate after the 6-3 putout for the first out of the fifth inning. The wind has started to die down a little bit now that the sun is setting off to the west. Turned into a really nice evening for baseball here in Wichita. LeMasters takes the first pitch from Walker, who works from the windup. And the pitch, and that one came inside and bounced in. Bottom of the fifth inning, 10-3, Alaska with the lead. 10 unanswered runs for the Goldpanners in the contest. Here comes the pitch. And that one was up high. It crossed the plate, but upstairs. And Jonah Walker has now fallen behind the count himself. 3 balls and no strikes. It just doesn't seem to matter what pitcher either team puts in there. This just continues to be a trend. And on 3-0, LeMasters is swinging, and he sends one up the line at third, and he's going to reach base. Mullen came charging in on that slow bouncing ball, and it was going to be a tough play to begin with, and indeed he couldn't haul it in and get the throw over to first base. So on at first base is going to be Aiden LeMasters, and that'll be an infield base hit. So a runner at first with one out now for Grant Moore, the right fielder. So for the first time, we will see Christian Walker work from the stretch. Jonah Walker. And he throws down low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Christian Walker plays for the Houston Astros. Jonah Walker plays for the Alaska Goldpanners. Grant Moore has walked twice, so no official at bat yet for him. But he's been on base both times, and he lines one to second here. They'll try to get the double play, and it's a little bit late. But Venverlo slid to his right to catch the liner, threw back to first, but alertly LeMasters caught wind of the line drive and got back to first base head first just in the nick of time. So 2 outs now with a runner at first base for Rohan Colmer. Colmer has made good contact both times tonight. He's flied out to left on a line drive and then flew out to right his last time up. And there's time because Aiden LeMasters on that dive back into the bag at first may have got something in the eye. So he's working with the trainer for his team. This is artificial surface, so that's not dirt, but there are a lot of those black rubber pellets that can cushion a fall, and maybe one of those popped into his eye, I'm not sure. But you can certainly see that in football when there's impact on the turf. A lot of the black rubber pellets will pop up, and again, that helps provide cushion. Not sure if that's what happened or not, but LeMasters appears to be fine, and he's back at first base. So here's Colmer now, up there with 2 outs and a runner at first, and he takes a strike. At 88 miles an hour, Jonah Walker is good for a strike, 0-1. Walker checks the runner at first, who's bluffing a move. And Culmer swings and misses as Jonah Walker took something off there clearly, and the count is now no balls and 2 strikes. Walker ready and delivers in a high one-hopper over towards short. This is going to be a tough play. Shortstop charging on. Stevenson makes the throw to first in time. Culmer runs with good speed up the line, but Stevenson charged in, got rid of it in a hurry, and a 6-3 putout retires the side as TPA Texas strands 1. On to the 6th, a 7-run Alaska Goldpanner lead 10-3.
At Evergy, we're focused not just on what we power, but on who we power, right here in our community. We provide payment assistance to our neighbors who need it. Invest in organizations and people, creating opportunity for all to benefit. And volunteer our time around our hometown so that together we improve it. Because we're committed to spreading good energy throughout our community. Evergy, the utility company.
Love was nearly lost until Pizza Hut showed up.
Go get her. Hi, I'm Peter.
Looks like a meat lover's Deborah.
Pizza Hut's hooking everyone up with more of what they love. Choose from 4 Hut Lovers pizzas starting at $12.99 each. Order on the app.
New pitcher into the game for TPA Texas is a right-handed sidearmer, and that's Shelton Rhodes who is in. Shelton Rhodes is out of Saginaw, Texas, and he's attending Austin College. First batter he'll face for the Alaska Goldpanners is David Shackelford. Shackelford, Sam Stevenson, and Christian Olay. 6, 7, and 8 for the Goldpanners here, and Shackelford's got to bail out of the first pitch. It's 1 ball and no strikes as that one got away from Rhodes. Rhodes works from the windup and delivers a side armor across for a strike. It's 0-1. If I told you that Austin College, where Rhodes goes to school, is in Texas and asked you to guess what city it is in, you would probably guess Austin, or at least a lot of people would, as the pitch is dribbled up the first baseline foul. Austin College, though, is not in Austin, Texas, even though it's in Texas. It's in the city of Sherman, Texas. 1-2. Here's the pitch. Change up misses inside and high, and the count's now 2-2. He works from the windup, delivers that sidearm pitch, and a swing and a miss. And a good start for Rhodes. One of the rare times we've seen any pitcher in this tournament at all come right in out of the bullpen and start throwing strikes right away. So 1 out here in the inning for Sam Stevenson. Stevenson struck out in the second inning, flew out in the fourth. This is his 3rd plate appearance, and after 1 pitch, he's down in the count 0-1. just inside. Little flare down the right field line. That's going to be caught. Nicely done, as LeMasters had to backtrack and reach up and make that catch. And I'm not sure if that was going to be a fair or foul ball. It was going to be close, but either way, a nice catch by LeMasters, and I think that would have ended up being foul. Still a very nice catch, and 2 quick outs here in the top of the 6th inning. So that'll bring up Christian Olay. Alaska has not been retired 1, 2, 3 in an inning yet. But it's been 2 up, 2 down so far in this, the top of the 6th inning. The only inning Alaska has not scored was the first, but they sent 5 to the plate in that inning. Christian Olay has worked ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Changeup at 64 miles an hour. I think he started his windup on Saturday with that pitch, and it's called a strike. 2 balls and a strike. Here comes the pitch. Blowing away, and the count's now 3-1. This one is ripped down the left field line, hooking though, and it's going to be a foul ball just by a few feet. It bangs off the wall just off to the left of the yellow line, going up and down the wall in left field, down the line. And so having to retreat is Christian Olay back to home plate. He hit it well, but came around too soon, and the count is full at 3-2. Remember, this weekend, August 1st and 2nd, is Alumni Weekend at the NBC. The Friday semifinal games will be here at X Stadium. Then Saturday, the championship game moves to Equity Bank Park in downtown Wichita. And the NBC wants all former players and coaches to be there to join in on the festivities. The pitch is popped up the first base line. The catcher, Regas, is going to call and make the catch, and the side retired. And that is the first 1, 2, 3 for Alaska in the contest. We go to the bottom of the 6th, but the Goldpanners lead by 7.
BMA's residential cleaning service knows there's no place like home, especially when your home is cleaned by our experienced staff. From floor to ceiling, we've got you covered. Learn more at bmasclean.com. BMA's Cleaning Sports, PBS, Kansas. Seriously good TV.
To the bottom of the 6th, Jackson James will lead things off for TPA Texas. His team still trails Alaska by 7, 10-3. And for the second inning in a row, Jonah Walker is out there in relief for Alaska, and the first pitch he throws this inning is in there for a strike, 0-1. And the 0-1 is on the outside edge as well. So Jackson James has quickly worked himself down in the count, 0-2. And the pitch, high and away for a ball, 1-2. James walked in the second inning, then grounded out to short in the fourth. He was also caught stealing in the second inning, and he sends this one foul over toward the first base dugout. So the count is 1-2 strikes. James Angel Gutierrez then back to the top of the order with Jamison Lucky. So 8-9-1 for TPA here in the inning. And there's a strike 3 called. Is a beautiful pitch by Walker that time, and he got James looking. And there's the first out of the inning and also the first strikeout of the game for Jonah Walker. There was no doubt about that one. One away. Boy, and Alaska has to be happy that they've got a pitcher up with a 7-run lead that comes right out of the gate in the first batter he faces in this inning. He throws strikes, and then Walker promptly bounces one into Angel Gutierrez, 1 no strikes. Gutierrez singled his last time up and stole a base as well. The 1-0, big swing and a foul back to the screen, and the count's 1-1. I'm not sure if Angel Gutierrez was a late addition to this squad or not, but they turned in their roster, and then it was in numerical order as he swings and misses 1 and 2. But then they put him at number 12 up at the very top of their roster they turned in. As if maybe he was a late ad. The pitch swung on and it bounces in at the plate, was missed, so he's got to be tagged out, and he was, for a strikeout swinging, 2 unassisted as well. And back-to-back strikeouts now for Jonah Walker. So Jonah Walker, who came in the 5th inning, didn't look bad, but he was not keeping hitters off balance the way he has here. He's got 2 strikeouts in the inning, 1 swinging and 1 looking. Jamison Lucky takes the first pitch for a ball, 1 and no strikes. Swing and a miss. And the count's now 1-1. Another swing and a miss at 78. That's back-to-back times that Jonah Walker has really gotten lucky to swing out in front. 1-2, and the pitch. Strike 3 called, and Jonah Walker strikes out the side. How about that for an inning? 2 strikeouts looking and 1 swinging. Side retired in order. We go to the 7th, 10-3 Alaska.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's the summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 48 years. Morgan?
Baseball tournament. My sport with the whole infield.
How about you two?
My Dad.
Get 0% APR financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Plus, get a complimentary maintenance plan for 24 months.
Ready for the top of the 7th inning from X Stadium, and the first batter is Alex Garcia, and he is going to pop a lazy fly ball into center field. And right there is Reisenhoover to make the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 away here in the top of the 7th inning. And now back to the top of the order with Owen Maley. 10-3 our score, Arkansas with the lead. Visitors half of inning number 7. 10 runs and 12 hits for the Goldpanners this evening. Maley takes a changeup that's in there for a strike at 66 miles an hour. 0-1. It's Shelton Rhodes that is still in there pitching for TPA Texas, and he just hit Maley. So Maley will trot down to first base. Owen Maley has now been aboard 4 times in 5 plate appearances. He walked in the first inning, a double in the 4th, a single in the 5th, and now hit by a batter in the by a pitch in the 7th. The only time he recorded an out was the 2nd inning when he flew out to right. So here's Matthew Pinal. And Pinal takes a strike, 0-1. Pinal's had a busy night as well. He's 3 for 4. 2 of his 3 hits are doubles. He had a double in the 3rd and a double in the 4th, then a single in the 5th. And he scored a run each time he got on base as well. So 3 base hits and 3 runs scored for Pinal. The pitch, outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rhodes from the stretch. And the side armor delivers, and this one is sliced into left field. Lucky's coming on. He's not going to get there. He's going to have to play it on a hop. Stopping at second base is going to be Maley, and Matthew Pinal now has 4 hits in a row in the contest. 2 doubles and 2 singles, and he's on at first base here. And now that'll get Ian Armstrong up to the plate. Armstrong also has a couple of hits tonight. He's 2 for 3, and he's also walked. And now a balk has been called. A balk has been called, and that's going to move the runners up. Boy, we have seen a lot of balks in this tournament. I think he started his stretch motion there. Sort of shook his right hand with the ball behind his hip and didn't end up going into the stretch, and I think that's where it was. Nonetheless, runners at second and third, and now Regas is going to go back and talk to his pitcher. And if Alaska is able to score a run in this inning, then the mercy rule would come into effect, because if they are leading by 8 or more after 7 innings, the game would end. TPA Texas would still get their crack at batting in the bottom of the 7th inning, but if the 7th inning ends and they're down by 8 or more, the game would end after 7. Pitch down and away, nice stop by Regas. So Maley is at third, Pinal is at second. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Armstrong. The infield for TPA Texas has come in with the runner at third base, with them trailing by 7. The pitch lined into left field, that's down, that'll be a base hit, and that's going to score 2. Lucky cuts it off. Heading down to second base is going to be Armstrong. He's going to slide in safely with a 2 RBI double. It's now 12-3, Alaska with the lead. Well, a liner into left, and Lucky had to play it on a hop and did a good job of getting over in a hurry, but he also had to move back deep to his right in order to field it, and that was an easy trip home for obviously Melly, but even Pinal from second base. So 2 RBIs for Armstrong and a 9-run Alaska lead, 12-3. Now the next batter, Jamie Mullen, lays into this one deep to right center field. Going back is Moore. He'll make the catch right in front of the warning track, but the runner from second tags. That's Armstrong, and he'll head down to third. So Mullen flies out to right for the second out of the inning. But now the possible 13th run of the game is 90 feet away for Alaska. So here's Vince Vanverlo now, the second baseman for Alaska, who is 1 for 4 on the evening. And the pitch to him is a changeup that misses low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0 hit him in the back. Vanverlo just turned away, and that plunked him in the back, and he'll head down to first base. Well, Alaska went scoreless in the first inning, gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the first, and they've now outscored TPA Texas 12-3 since the first inning. They've only had 1 more scoreless inning since the first, and that was the 6th. They've scored at least run in 5 of the 7 innings so far. Here's the pitch to Shackelford. Actually, it looks like Alaska has gone with a pinch hitter here. 1 ball and no strikes. David Shackelford was due up, but Hunter Friedberg is batting. So Friedberg batting for Shackelford. Friedberg from Lakewood, California, will attend the University of San Diego, and he chops this one foul over toward the first base dugout. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. The lights have been on for a while at X Stadium now. Delightful night for baseball. Final game of baseball round the clock. This one is lined into center field. Coming on is Rosenhoover, and he's there. He's going to snag it, and the side retired. But Alaska scores a couple. Stretch time at X Stadium. Goldpanners lead by 9. Right-hander Hunter Peck out of Las Vegas, Nevada is on to try and finish this one off for his Alaska Goldpanners, who lead by the score of 12-3. And the first batter that Peck will face is Luke Regas here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Regas, Levi Reisenhoover, and Roman Carriaga, 2, 3, and 4 for TPA Texas. They need 2 runs, or this game will end after this inning. There's a bouncer to short, fielded nicely by Stevenson. He'll throw a one-hopper to first, and that is in time for a 6-3 putout, 1 away. Boy, that's a nice job of just playing this AstroTurf and knowing you're going to get that bounce. Go ahead and get rid of the ball. And the throw just in the nick of time, and a nice stretch, by the way, as well by Armstrong. So 1 out here in the inning. And now that'll bring up Levi Reisenhoover. Big swing and a miss. And the count is 0-1. Hunter Beck will attend Allen Hancock to pitch collegiately. No balls and a strike. And the pitch outside for a ball. Or they called it a strike. Ooh. Ethan McCraney called that a strike. I beg your pardon, it's 0-2. Now the 0-2. Pulled foul down the third base side. Count still 0-2. Well, if the trend continues, Alaska and Junction City could be an old-fashioned shootout. Pitch comes inside and it hits Reisenhoover, and he'll head down to first base. Well, that's not what Beck was hoping for. Up by 9 runs in what could be the bottom of the last inning. But both teams, Junction City and Alaska, have scored double figures in runs in both of their games they've played. They've racked up a bunch of runs and a bunch of hits. It could boil down to which team has an edge in pitching. It often does, not always, but in this case it might, because I think these two teams are certainly loaded with offense. That'll be a fun one. Junction City and the Arkansas Goldpanners to see which team wins their pool, although both will move on to elimination play. There's no question about that now. 2 balls and a strike, the count to Carriaga. Two balls and 2 strikes. Beck looks over at first. And the pitch down and away. I've been reminded that I've been saying accidentally the Arkansas Goldpanners. I apologize. Do they pan for gold in Arkansas? I should have thought of that, because they probably don't. Pitch swung on and fouled back to the backstop. But they do a lot of that in Alaska. But of course, the Alaska Goldpanners. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count is full. Runner at first, 1 away. Here's the pitch. Just missed outside. So a walk puts Carriaga at first, and down to second base goes Reisenhoover. And that'll bring up Aiden LeMasters. LeMasters having a nice offensive evening. He's been aboard All 3 times he's been to the plate. He takes his strike here at 74, 0-1. He walked in the first inning and then a 3rd inning double and a 5th inning single. So he's 2 for 2 with a walk. Here's the 0-1. This one is lifted into right field, but right at Melly, who barely has to move. He'll make the catch, and 2 away. So now, TPA Texas is down to their final hope. And it'll be Grant Moore who will step to the plate. Moore is hitless tonight, but he's walked 2 times. So he's 0 for 1. And the one out he made was a hard luck play. He lined one to second that was snagged by Van Verlew over at second base, but he hit it very well. 1 ball and no strikes. If TPA Texas can get 2 home, the game will continue. Here's the pitch. Lined into left field. That's down. That'll be a base hit. They're going to stop the runner at third, though. So now everybody moves up 90 feet and the bases are loaded for Rohan Culmer. Nice piece of hitting there by Moore, going the opposite way for a left field base hit right between short and third. So Reisenhoover stops at third, Carriaga down at second. And Grant Moore is on at first. Here's Rohan Culmer. And now there's going to be a pinch runner, though, out at second base. Coming into the game is DeCarlo DeClancy for TPA Texas. And he's now the second player from the Bahamas that I've ever heard of him. And both of them play for TPA Texas, but he's another one from the Bahamas. The other is the man at the plate right now, Rohan Culmer. And Culmer takes outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Culmer has struck the ball well, but has nothing to show for it. A line out to left field, a fly out to center that was pretty well struck, and then a bouncing ball to short his last time up, and he almost beat out the throw. But a nice play by Stevenson at short. There's a strike, and the count's now 0-2. Runners get their leads, but Beck's not worried about them. Up by 9 with 2 outs. The pitch is a liner up the middle. That's through for a base hit, and they're going to wave the runner around third, and he will score a 2 RBI single for Rohan Culmer. And TPA Texas stays alive. Now it's 12-5. So Culmer finally has something to show for swinging a nice bat tonight. A 2 RBI single. And now here's Jackson James. And the first pitch to James is outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. James 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. The pitch. Outside, that's a ball. The wind has started to pick up again out of the south toward left field. It had died down for a while, and normally, once the sun sets, it stays died down, but it's actually picked up again. Runner heading to third on the pitch that's high and away, and he'll get there. A stolen base for Grant Moore. So Moore swipes third. Culmer stays at first base, and now runners at the corners for TPA Texas with 2 away. Two balls and a strike, the count to Jackson James. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. And the count's now even at 2-2. Hunter Beck with that wide open stance as he stretches, delivers, pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and the side retired, but not before TPA Texas scores the first runs of the game since the first inning. And it's now 12-5 as we go to the 8th, Alaska with the lead.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's the summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. Morgan?
Baseball tournament. Mike Sports at the hole infield.
How about you two?
Mud bath.
Get 0% APR financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Plus, get a complimentary maintenance plan for 24 months.
Sam Stevenson starts the 8th inning for the Alaska Goldpanners, who have had their lead cut to 7 now, 12-5 after a 2-run bottom of the 7th inning for TPA Texas. And Stevenson takes outside for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Shelton Rhodes is still out there on the mound for TPA Texas. Stevenson still without a hit in the contest. He's 0 for 4. Two balls and a strike now. Stevenson did not play in the game yesterday, so these are his only 4 at-bats of the NBC, what he's had tonight. He's ahead in the count, though, 3-0, and he swings and misses here. Excuse me, he was ahead in the count 3-1, and now it's full 3-2. Christian Ollier will wait on deck, and Alex Garcia after that. So 7, 8, and 9. And there's a walk, ball 4, and down to first base goes Stevenson. And now time has been called. There's going to be a conversation out at the pitcher's mound. There's nobody warming up for TPA Texas down in the bullpen, so this is going to be more just a conversation with Shelton Rhodes. I beg your pardon, there is going to be a pitching change. The relief pitcher is coming in from the dugout, so much for that. We'll take a timeout. Pitching change being made. Alaska up by 7. is the new pitcher for TPA Texas, as his team is trailing right now by 7, 12-5 is the score, top of the 8th inning. Berta is 5'10", 170 pounds from Mansfield, Texas. Mansfield just south of Fort Worth and between there and Dallas. Right underneath Arlington, in fact. He's going to work from the stretch, and the first pitch he throws is inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Christian Olay. The college, you ask, for Austin Berta? The proverbial transfer portal that we referenced earlier. The pitch down and away for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. (12-5) our score. The mercy rule was in effect. Alaska was 1 out away from ending the game, and then a 2 RBI single kept it alive. So here we are in the 8th, but now Alaska's got something cooking again. A base hit to left for Christian Olay, and he's down at first base. And now going from first to third is going to be Stevenson because of a misplay, and down to second goes Olay. So now second and third, still nobody out here in the inning, as Alaska has 2 in scoring position. So Alex Garcia, now the number 9 hitter in the order for Alaska, will step up to the plate. And he is hitless tonight, 0 for 4. He's going to send this one out into center field. Reisenhoover moving over to his right. The runner will tag from third, and the throw will be up the line and late, and there's a sacrifice fly. And now the score is 13-5. So Garcia, no official at bat there. He'll get credit for a sacrifice fly and an RBI. And in to score was Stevenson, and now it's 13-5. Staying at second base, though, was Christian Olay, and back to the top of the order we go with Owen Melly. And Melly sends one to right center field, and nobody's going to get this one. The 2 outfielders collide, and he's going to run for a while. Center fielder is hurt. Moore gets up and throws the ball back from the infield. Rounding third and heading home is Melly. He's going to stand up with an inside the park 2-run homer. Well, you could see that coming when Reisenhoover and Moore, the center fielder and right fielder respectively, collided with each other, and the ball scooted to the fence. And with the kind of speed that Melly has, he was rounding second when the 2 collided practically, and then an easy trip home for an inside the park home run for Owen Melly. And now it's 15-5. Alaska with the lead. Here's Matthew Pinal. Boy, we've seen some long home runs in this one, but how about that one? An inside the park job to the gap in right center field. The outfielders collided, the ball rolled to the fence, and an inside the park job. And there you see the collision, and fortunately, Reisenhoover's okay. Now a bouncing ball to first, and it's deflected off the glove of LeMasters, and on into right field it goes. And another base hit for Alaska. So the bats have really come alive here for Alaska in the 8th inning now. They've scored 3 times, and we shouldn't forget, although it's easy to because it wasn't a home run over the fence, but that means another $100 to the NBC charity for each home run hit in this tournament. It should be double, though, for an inside-the-park home run. I think we should lobby for that. Here's Ian Armstrong, and he takes down low for a ball, 1-0. Can we do that? Can we make it double for an inside-the-park home run? That's quite a few home runs in this game. There were back-to-back home runs by TPA Texas in the bottom of the first inning. Ian Armstrong is the batter, and he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Of course, Jamie Mullen had the monster home run in the third inning that went out to the street, well out of the ballpark. That was a 2-run moonshot. It was high and long. And then that inside the park job by Owen Melly moments ago. Then back-to-back homers for TPA in the bottom of the first inning. So 4 home runs in this game. What's the count up to for the tournament? Is it 12 or 13? Bouncing ball to short. This could be 2 to second for 1. Relay to first is thrown into the first row of the bleachers almost. If there wasn't a net there. Not sure what happened on the relay from Vanverlo, but that one was wildly thrown. And that's going to be a free base down to second base on the throwing error for Ian Armstrong. Pinal was retired 6-4 for the second out of the inning, and it'll be an E4 that sends Armstrong to second base. So a runner at second now, and here's Jamie Mullen. Pitch to Mullen is down and in for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. (15-5), Alaska with the lead. Lifted left field. Drifting over to the line is Lucky, and he's going to track it down. Got a little interesting there as the wind pushed that one toward the warning track, but he does track it down, and the side retired. But another 3 spot for Alaska, this time in the 8th, and they lead by 10.
At Evergy, we're focused not just on what we power, but on who we power, right here in our community. We provide payment assistance to our neighbors who need it. Invest in organizations and people, creating opportunity for all to benefit. And volunteer our time around our hometown so that together we improve it. Because we're committed to spreading good energy throughout our community. Evergy, the utility company.
Love was nearly lost until Pizza Hut showed up.
Go get her. Hi, I'm Peter.
Looks like a meat lover's, Deborah.
Pizza Hut's hooking everyone up with more of what they love. Choose from 4 Hut Lovers pizzas starting at $12.99 each. Order on the app.
Well, Hunter Beck had a chance to polish off TPA Texas in the bottom of the last inning, but instead gave up a couple of runs that sent it to the 8th inning. Now his offense has helped him have another chance, and we'll see if here his team can polish off TPA Texas. It's 15-5. Alaska with the lead. And as long as TPA Texas doesn't score 3 times, the game will end when 3 outs are made here, because they will have been up by at least 8 runs after 8 innings. This is a pinch hitter leading things off, though, for TPA Texas. And there's a swing and a miss. Justin Vasquez is his name. He's out of Miami and Western Oklahoma State. 0-2. And the pitch, a swing and a miss, and down he goes. And there's one away. The question is, we need to get TPA Texas to give us more details on the location that Justin Vasquez is from. It just says Miami. Now there's Miami, Florida, but there is also Miami, Oklahoma, which is spelled the same way as Miami, Florida, but pronounced Miami. But they're both spelled the same way. So is Justin Vasquez from Miami, Florida, or Miami, Oklahoma? He's not batting now. He was retired, and now we're back at the top of the order with Jamison Lucky, and he is retired as well. Boy, nice job by the... Actually, he just beat the throw, I beg your pardon. I was looking away momentarily, and nice job hustling down the line by Lucky, so that's going to be an infield base hit. So a runner at first, 1 away for Luke Regas. And the pitch is delivered up high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. One of the fun things about this tournament is all the different pitching styles you see. We saw a submariner yesterday and a couple of sidearm pitchers in this one, and Hunter Beck comes from the side as well. He's down to the count here, though, 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. Lifted into left field. Melly moving over just a few steps to his left. He'll move under it and make the catch for out number 2. And now here's Levi Reisenhoover. And now Reisenhoover is the last hope for TPA Texas. But Rohan Culmer was in the last inning, and he kept the game alive with the 2 RBI base hit. We'll see what Reisenhoover does here. The first pitch is taken outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Beck stretches, there goes the runner. The pitch is down and away. There'll be no throw to second base. So Lucky down to second now. And the count's 2 balls and no strikes at the plate to Reisenhoover. And here's the pitch. Lined up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Rounding third and heading home is going to be Lucky, and he will score on an RBI single for Reisenhoover. And TPA Texas hanging around here now. It's 15-6. They're down by 9. So Roman Carriaga will step up to the plate now. He had one of the 2 back-to-back home runs back in the very first inning of this game when it looked like TPA Texas might be in for a big offensive night. They started off well. They scored 3 and then they've scored 3 in the last 2 innings combined, but in between innings 2 through 6, it was tough sledding for them. Q sticked at the plate, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is DeCarlo DeClancy, who's making his second appearance in the game. He was, actually a pinch runner, in the 7th inning, now his first plate appearance. And he's fighting off 2 strike pitches, and the count's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Low and outside for a ball, and the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Each team into double digits now in the hit column. 17 for Alaska and 10 for TPA Texas. And there is strike 3 called. There will be no more hits in this one as DeClancy is caught looking, and that's the ball game. Final score is the Alaska Goldpanners 15 and TPA Texas 6 as Alaska improves to 2-0 in this tournament, and TPA Texas suffers their first loss of the tourney. So that'll do it for tonight. It was a game that started off with a lot of fireworks, and you go back all the way, in fact, to the 3rd inning of this contest. We had our play of the game. It was Jamie Mullen at the plate, and boy, did he hit a nice mammoth home run. We'll show you that in a moment. There's your player of the game, and that's David Shackelford, but the play of the game was back in the 3rd inning. I mentioned it earlier. Watch how far this one goes for Jamie Mullen. High into the sky, over the scoreboard, and you're going to see that one possibly rolling around in the street. And there it goes, right underneath that car. And that was your play of the game. Brought to you by Pierpoint Lawn and Landscape. Jamie Mullen, a 2-run homer. What a play that was early in this one. It set the tone offensively for a night where Alaska ends up scoring 15 runs on the night. They win by the score of 15-6. Well, that'll do it for baseball round the clock as well, as we started at 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Games all the way through this one tonight. Now the NBC staff will get some well-deserved rest, and they'll be back at it tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock. For our entire production crew from Butler Community College TV, my name is Steve Strain, saying so long and good night from Wichita.